Hi everyone and happy Monday. We have our planner page to do or to make a start on today. It's quite a detailed page. It's absolutely lovely. I've really enjoyed doing this page when I did it the first time in Rooms of Wonder, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Rooms of Wonder. I will check and make sure that when I do the description of the video that I put the right book there. So we have obviously a pot with a little bathroom in, and we have the plant, which is I think a geranium. We're going to start I think with the plant and then do this bit after. That's my plan anyway. So we're going to come in closer and have a look at the flowers. Now I'm going to use Polychromos. I've picked them already because they are suitable for doing all these little details. Now geraniums are usually red. I think they're always red, but I couldn't be 100% sure. Mine are red, so you know that's what I'm going on. So what I'm going to do is do a few shades of red to orange, because they're a sort of orangey red with our flowers. I'm going to start with our darkest red, and I'm going to use the deep red for my darkest red. And you want it quite sharp. I'm just going to sharpen and then get going. Now I'm going to do all the flowers the same, so I will be just doing the same technique with each. So I'm just wondering about the centre. I think I might just block the centre in quite dark. Then for these tiny petals, I don't know how easy it is for you to see, just a little bit there and then fade it. The same there. It's quite difficult with them being so small, but that's what I'm trying to do. The larger ones are a bit easier. So a bit here and just sort of fade it off like that. Okay, and then we're going to be doing the same with all of them, so it's going to be a lot of the same, I'm afraid, but that's what happens when you're doing something which looks the same. I don't really remember geraniums having this little tiny bit inside, but I'm sure that they must, because well, Johanna does use her imagination a fair bit, which is lovely. So maybe she's just making that up a little bit, I don't know, but my geraniums seem to have, they do have a lot of flowers, like more than the 4 that are here, but they're all the same size. Petals, I mean, not flowers. But they're all the same size, so I don't know. Anyway, now we've got lines drawn here, and you can fill that in as if there's a crease in the petal, which there tends to be, and make it look even more realistic. But I'm not going to keep it reasonably simple because there's a lot going on and some of them are quite small. So and by the time we look at the finished picture, I don't know if we'll notice those little details. I don't know. And it would also take a really long time. So I'm not, you know, it's worth spending some time getting the details in there, but not, I couldn't spend too long, or else I get bored, and you might too. I don't know, you may not, but we'll see. Depends what I decide to talk about, bore you with. What's happening today? Well, it is Monday. I'm recording a Monday video on a Monday. Now what's going on? But it's not the Monday that this is going to go out, of course. No, I'm a week ahead. Or am I a week ahead? I'm not sure. What's the date today? It is the 4th, and this is the 18th. Oh, okay. I'm quite a long way ahead, a few weeks ahead. But that's because my boys I just managed to get ahead. I think it's partly because the boys had been off. They'd had a week off and I'd done a fair bit. Then it's a bit more relaxed with them off uni, which was nice. I don't know if I'll be so relaxed over Easter, because I've got 3 weeks off over Easter, which is lovely. I don't have to worry about trains. It's just lovely, which is what last week was so nice. It felt like it lasted forever. you know, it was so low stress. It was just really nice. But Easter is getting closer to them having to get their work in. So although they were working last week, they had what's called a future planning week. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. Same sort of thing. So again, the centre one I'm just going to block in and then just fade it out from the centre of each petal. I will tidy up later as I go. If yours is messy, don't worry. Yours is probably tidier than mine. Anyway, I know most of you are much neater than me. But I just do what I can do. Yeah, so because it's getting closer to deadline time, then, you know, work will be a bit more urgent. Like last week, they didn't do a lot for the first few days. I think my one son's been writing a program for his one assignment, and he's been writing it for 7 weeks, I reckon. A long old time, and it's beginning to come together. But I think the problem is that with programming, you never know if it's going to work until you try it, and it's obviously got bugs in it, which they always do, and he's bug fixing, but he's getting there. And he always says to me, oh, there's just a little while left, and then 2 weeks later, I'm nearly ready and all this, and I'm starting to think, how long is it taking you? And he hasn't started work on anything else. So he's got 3 other projects to work on. One of them he reckoned he could start, and then he did a few more. He started it. He said, no, actually, I need to go to a few more lessons first, which is fair enough. And then, yeah, that was about it, really. So the others, he reckoned he didn't know enough to start. One of them, he's got to design a website, and I hope that's not going to take as long as the writing a program, because you know, you can get bugs in websites too, just like programming. I find website design much easier than programming, but when I design a website, I use a WordPress, and so it does half the work for you. And I used to use HTML code when websites first came out and do a bit, but it was much more straightforward then. You know, there weren't all these fancy, there was no e-commerce and things like that to worry about. I'm trying to work out what's going on here, but I haven't worked it out yet, so I'm just doing this top flower. No, so it was a lot simpler then. You would just put up like a company's name, photo, address, a form for emailing them, and I'm doing this one under here. I'm thinking that there must be something going on there. Just make it up. There's no right or wrong. Yes, so that was about it really. You could change the background, the text, put pictures in. You know, it was really straightforward, but I don't know exactly what he has to do, but I suspect he has to do forms and all sorts of things. I don't know. But anyway, I'll talk to him about it at some point. But this afternoon I'm helping my other son. That son is in all day today, so I don't have to think about him with regards to work. He's in his classes, so hopefully he's learning valuable things. My other son is got just this morning. He's home this afternoon, and he's got a nearly finished essay, but he says he thinks it's only worth about 50%, and he's aiming for 70 in everything, is what he really wants to get, which is like the top grade boundary. He says he knows it's a bit unrealistic, and he thinks you know, it's going to get harder as he goes into like later years, but he'd really like to do that, so that's good. So I'm going to have a look at his essay with him. Now, you're not allowed to collaborate on work. It's against the Student Code of Conduct, which is fair enough. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read his essay and go, that bit isn't explained well enough. That bit needs a reference, that sort of thing. And we feel that that isn't really too naughty. It doesn't feel like it should be against the rules, you know. Right, we've done our first layer on all our flowers, and now we're going to grab, I think I'm going to go down a couple of shades. So I'm going to use the light cadmium red. Now this is quite an orangey red, you might be able to see that in the camera, and that's what I want. I'm going to start down here, and again, I'm going to put over the top of what I've done, but I'm going to try and do it a little bit harder over the bit that I've done already, and then fade it right towards the edge. I'm thinking this could be my final colour. I don't really want it any lighter than this, but I will come back and put in a bit of shadow between the flowers. Sorry, my nose is running. Of course it's running. But so I'm not really I don't think it's help that's cheating help, you know, but so we're going to do that. It also just encourages him, because we'll sit together and read it through together, and he'll spot things as well, you know, and we'll do that. But that'll be fun. But I've got to pop out as well. So it's a busy all day, but I've done a lot of work already, because husband doesn't leave home for work until about 9:15. Now, I get up at 6. No, I wake up at 6, get up at 7:15, hop in the shower and do all the breakfasty things and salt washing and dishwashers and, you know, all the usual stuff, chores, household chores, and make sure the kitchen's all clean, everything's put away. And the boys left at 20, well, they've got their shoes on at 7:20, so they're out the door really early. So then I couldn't record videos that I've accidentally gone in that space. I'm just going to colour it in as if there's one behind and there. Why not? So I had like 2 hours while husband was still here. So I didn't want to record, because it's nice to be able to natter to him while he's getting ready and doing whatever he's doing. So I did a lot of work. I did a few things in my Ko-fi shop. What I did was, I've got all these colouring book index pages, so it's basically a list of all the pages in certain colouring books. I haven't done one for this planner, saying what's on each page, and a sort of guide, so that you can basically, I'm just going over that a little bit, tidying it up, so you can basically write down when you started the page, when you finished the page, and what pencils you used, or whatever, not necessarily pencils, to colour it with. And I figured that on those listings it might be useful to put a link to my flip through videos of those particular books when I had them new, so that it sort of all links together. So I was doing that, and then I did it the other way around. So on the videos I put a link to the index sheets. So I did that, and then I linked up some pencil ones. So where I'd done a swatch chart, I linked to my unboxing video of that particular pencil, and vice versa. On my unboxing video I linked to the swatch chart. So I was just doing like little admin-y things that you do when you're sort of, you know, YouTubing or whatever. If you want to speed this up, this colouring, you could just use this colour, not the one underneath. Okay, it will mean you only got to colour one layer. I think it makes a difference having the two. But if you are feeling like I just want to go a bit faster, just use this one. And you could just use it darker here and then fade it off towards the tip, and you might get a similar look to what we're getting with the darker colour underneath. Yes, so I was doing all that. I was putting details of today's morning video up on Instagram, and I took some photos of some pictures that I'd finished colouring over the weekend, and scheduled them to go up on my Facebook and Instagram page, because I put a picture up. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you'll know this. I put a picture up to appear at night, at midnight our time, just so there's something to look at. And I think people do like looking at completed pictures. I know I do anyway, so I hope you do. And so I actually schedule those, because I'm not up at midnight doing that. You can schedule posts, which is quite useful. It sort of saves me time in a way, because I do it in a batch, and this is a really good way of saving time, when you're sort of doing videos and things, is to not, like, if you make, like, say I finish this video, it's not the whole page, so I get halfway or a third of the way through the page, I stop. If I then download that video off my camera, then edit it and then export it and then put it up on YouTube, then record the next bit and do the same again, that takes longer because I have to keep, it takes more thinking. If I record all 3 parts, I think it's going to be 3 parts, might be 2, then download it off the camera, then edit all of them, make the thumbnails for all of them, you know, and do all the other, export them and then put them up on YouTube. If I do it all in a batch, it's much quicker because I'm doing 3 at once. Although it takes the same amount of time, processing time, helps my brain. I don't have to switch from one task to the other and back again. You know, even though I'm very good at switching from task to task, I can multitask, I'm really lucky that I can just do that. It still really speeds things up. So it's a little sort of tip for any of you who are doing this, to sort of do it in batches. The same as photos, like if I've got some finished pictures, I will photograph 2 or 3 of them at once and then put them up on my socials, rather than doing them just one at a time. If I've only got one, and I'd just do one, but it just speeds everything up. I'm going to do that. I'm going to colour in these gaps. I think it looks better, rather than having gaps between the flowers. My geranium hasn't flowered for so long. It flowered, well, about maybe a month ago, maybe a bit less, and I got all excited, and then the flowers died and fell off before they even opened. You know, they were just green buds. I don't know what I did, but it's sitting on the windowsill, so it may be because of the weather so changeable. It may have got really cold. This morning we've had a really heavy frost, and yesterday we had a frost and fog. The day before we had snow. But before that it had been unseasonably warm and really sunny. So it's like, come on weather, what are you doing? Now I'm going to put some shadow in here. Where they overlap, there's going to be a little bit of shadow. Now you could use a dark red for that, but I'm going to use my favourite dark sepia. I think it might work better. I'm going to sharpen it well. Okay, I don't know if I can come in a bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. So let's start with this one, and what I'm going to do is go around the edge of that middle circle, and then around the edge of all these center petals. So I'm going to try and make sure that I stay close to Johanna's black line, and but create just a little look of a shadow, as if they're overlapping each other. I'm going to do it on the whole of this one and then move my hand away, and you'll be able to see whether you like it, whether it's something you want to do, or whether you just don't think it's worth it, the effort. So all the way around the edge of all of it. Now these bits that are a little bit behind, I'm just going to colour right over with the sepia. Not hard, just a little, what would you call it, a glaze? Not really. Sketch, I don't know. See here, I'm just going to go over it a little bit, so it looks like it's in the shadows. Yeah, we went to an art exhibition at the weekend, which was really good fun. It was a gallery showing, I guess, so one artist only. We have this sort of studio in our town, which is a really, so if you look at the difference between that and that, I hope you can see that there's a difference, and you can decide which you prefer. I'm going to go over this one now while I'm chattering. Same thing, just outside of the black line, wherever there is an overlap, just pop some colour in. Yes, so it was actually our neighbour who was an artist. you can find her actually on Instagram, Charlotte Aitken, Aitken, Charlotte Aitken Art, I think it's art. And we went to her exhibition. My husband had been to the opening night, where there was music and lots of people, and I wasn't interested in doing that, especially as it was late and I don't go out at night. I'm old and boring. And anyway, so we went on Saturday in the day. It opened at 11, and so we went for when it sort of opened, and she was actually running a class there as part of it anyway. So she was there. We had a quick chat with her because obviously we know her because she's our neighbour. And then she went off to do her class, which was fair enough. And then her partner came over. He was hanging around there. I think he did the class too. Anyway, so we had a look at her art, and we bought a few pieces actually. She had some absolutely amazingly gorgeous pieces. She actually exhibited at the summer exhibition at the, where is it? Is it the, I can't remember, in London this summer. What you do, the summer exhibition, basically, there's a group of artists, famous, you know, big artists, who pick art that they'd like to be displayed under certain themes, I think, at the exhibition. I don't really know loads about it. I've watched a TV show on it. And anybody can submit a piece of art. So basically you take a photograph of your art and you send it in, and they decide who they pick from so many entries. You know, just anybody can do it. The programme I was watching, it was about a comedian who is an artist who sent in his piece of work, his piece of art. We're going to do leaves now. Now geranium leaves are sort of green. This bit I think is red. Hang on a minute. Here's my geranium. It's quite close to the camera. I can't zoom out much anymore, but there it is. There's no, the leaf is just plain, whereas I've always thought that geraniums do have some different colour in the leaf, so that's what we're going to do. Hang on, I'm just going to take this away. Oh, just noticed, I don't know if you can see, you can't, it's really blurry. There's a bud coming. Woohoo, exciting. So anyway, sorry, distracting everybody with geraniums. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour all the leaves first in a base colour that's all the same, and then I'm going to add darker areas to some of it to hopefully make it look more interesting. We probably won't make it look exactly like that one, but what I think I'm going to start with is this leaf green, and I'm just going to colour all the stems, all the leaves with the leaf green while I blah on about what I was talking before. Yes, so she had one of her pictures selected for the summer exhibition. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm just going to sharpen. It isn't, it's old, so it wasn't in her exhibition, but she had some really pretty ones. So the ones I really, there were different styles. There were clouds, and there was just a picture of grey clouds which looked really realistic, and I liked it, but I was like, well, and it was really expensive. It was a huge canvas. I'm going to sneeze. There's that geranium. Oh, that's better. Very tickly nose. So I'm just going to put like a sort of medium pressure, as even as I can, but I'm not very good, so yeah, we'll see how it comes out. Colour on each leaf like this, and we'll be doing other colours too. Anyway, so she had these clouds, but then she had a lot more sort of modern arty style with different colours, which is what we got, because she had some really small canvases which were very affordable compared to the really large ones which were very expensive. There was something about some of her pictures that I wasn't keen on. It's just me. What she'd done is, because they're all clouds, some of them had like running paint to look like rain. I didn't like that. Firstly, it it just looked like running paint and I wasn't very keen on the look. It's a personal thing. Some people probably really like it. And also I didn't want to look at rain. You know, clouds is different to rain, if you know what I mean. So anyway, we found some pieces which we're going to hang in our kitchen. But what we did stupidly was we didn't take any photos of them. So although we bought them, obviously they still sit in the exhibition until it's over. So we haven't got any record of what they look like. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We know we'll get them because obviously she's our neighbour, and once she dismantles her exhibition, we'll have them. But it was nice to. My husband said he's always had the ambition to go to a show like that, you know, an exhibition, and buy some art. So and I I've been looking for some pictures to go in the kitchen, and it's quite difficult to match our newish year-old kitchen because the walls are dark brown, the cupboards are green and pink, but these pictures had green and pink in them, so they were perfect. Now I'm trying to decide whether to, I think this bit here we might do as if it's sunk in. You know, if you saw the leaf that I showed you, they were dipped in the middle. So what we can do is we can get a darker green. So we'll grab our permanent green olive and we'll do this centre bit darker, but we want it to be darkest here and lighter there. Okay, so I'm going to layer it up here. I don't know how well you can see. And then reduce the amount of colour coming out towards that line. I don't really know if this is dark enough, to be honest. Oh, sorry about the sniffing. Ugh. I feel a bit coldy, to be honest. I mean, I don't feel ill, I just feel snuffly, you know, and I've been using a bit of nasal spray because I've been finding my nose is very blocked, which has helped until I sneezed. But I don't know what's going on. My son said he's been feeling unwell for weeks, but he's been all right, really. Just you know, sort of a bit coldy, I suppose. So I'm trying to make it darker in the centre. It's a bit tricky. I think I'm going to grab another pencil and go in there as well. Yeah, so we bought 3 pieces in the end of art, which we really liked. I think one of them looks quite different to the other 2, and I think it might need to go in a different location, but we'll find out when we get them in the kitchen and have a look. It'll be also the big canvases were too large for our house, really, because some of them were like a set of 3 huge ones, you know, that sort of thing. We just haven't got the space, and our walls don't like heavy canvases. But anyway, so some of them had like just clouds and telephone wires across, which was quite interesting, and then others had more water with reflection of clouds. That was a really nice one, and a lot of them she uses gold or silver leaf. But I said to her I was going to use her colours as inspiration for some of my pictures because they were so lovely, and I said, you know, obviously I would tag her, and she said there's no need to do that, she said, because we all take inspiration from lots of places. And what she said was her more modern art type style actually came from a commission. No, I didn't colour that. Someone said to her they asked for a specific style of picture, and so she did it for them and then used it for others. So she said it wasn't really her idea anyway, which I found quite fascinating. Right, I want to make these leaves have a bit of colour on the edges that isn't green. You don't have to do this, but I quite like geranium leaves. I'm sure some varieties of geranium have a little bit of sort of orangey red in the leaf, or pink even. But because my reds are orangey, I don't really want to do pink, pinky purple. I'm not sure if it'll work. I know. I use the Indian red. Ooh, the sun's in my eyes. I just looked up and I'm thinking, I'm trying to work out whether it be the whole of this or just this bit or just the edge. What shall I do? Try on just the edge like that, I think. I'm trying to remember what they actually look like. Hold on, I'm going to have a look. 1 minute. Right, it looks like I'm wrong and there's a bit here. So I'm going to try and erase that. I'm really sorry that I've done that bit wrong. But we'll go over it with enough layers. So it's here that you get the dark bit. So I think I'm going to make it a bit darker near the line and then sort of fade it up. We're going to put some green over the top anyway, because this green is far too faint. What was I saying? Art. Yeah, so we're looking forward to getting those, putting them in the kitchen. And we got home and said to the boys, bought some pictures, and they were like, oh, what were they like? Did you take a photo of them? We're like, no. And I showed them some because she had a few videos of her exhibition and things. And they went, Mum, you don't like that sort of picture? I said, no. It's interesting. I'm not a fan of modern art normally at all. But when I looked at these, I could see the work that had gone in, the thought, the time. Do you see what I mean? As often with modern art, it just looks like it's taken 5 minutes. And whereas with these, I could see the progression from one picture to another, if you know what I mean. Whereas when someone splatters paint all over a canvas, I'm like, well, I could do that, you know. Whereas with what she was doing, I was like, I might be able to copy it, but that isn't acceptable. But I don't think I could, even if I was could use paint, which I can't, you know. And talking of paint, I was talking to husband about watercolour pencils, because I've been asked to do a video with watercolour pencils, and I am still trying to find the right sort of picture and book to do that in, because obviously it's tricky because it doesn't work in every book, you know. The paper isn't always right. And I have done a few already, maybe one, actually, two. So there's a few there if you want to have a little look. But yeah, I've been looking, and what he said was, as a watercolour artist, that he's never really had much luck with the pencils, apart from when he's rubbed the brush on the tip of the pencil and then applied that to the paper, rather than drawing with it and then painting over. However, I'm more thinking I will use them as a pencil. I'm going to go over with the May Green. Having looked at some pictures, I think this is a better colour. And I'm going to go right over the top of this, look, and sort of blend in that red. I'm going to go over the whole lot. We're going to put a bit of darker colour in the middle at the end. Oh, excuse me. And we're going to make it look warmer. I like this warm colour. I'm sorry, if you prefer like the spring green or the light green, do that instead, because it'll work the same way. And I just like this colour. I'm just indulging myself and using a colour that I like. Anyway, he said that he struggled to use them, so yes, I'm going to see what I can do. But I'm not. I've used them a few times. I need to probably practice a bit before doing a video, I don't know. But anyway, I've got my next batch of videos already ready to do for you, and I need to do some Easter pictures, I think. Some sort of I don't know, I was looking through trying to find what I had. I've got a few rabbits, yeah, there's a Hannah Carlson picture with some chicks and daffodils, which might work for Easter. I think it should. Yeah, I haven't got loads. I think Easter isn't something that people draw. I mean, spring, obviously, you've got your tulips, your daffodils, your crocuses and all that sort of thing going on. You know, I've got Rita Berman's spring book. There's a lot of sort of spring-themed things, but specific Easter. I mean, obviously, oh, I've got a sort of egg-shaped thing. It's just an egg in Escape to Wonderland. I thought I was going to do that as a watercolour, because apparently the paper in Escape to Wonderland by Good Wives and Warriors is really, really good for painting. I know that, who is it that does a lot from it? Oh, I can't remember her name now. Lots of lovely videos from there. And she paints straight onto the paper. She doesn't use pencil. I quite like how these are coming out, just the centres need a bit of work. So I thought, oh, I could do that, but the detail in the picture is so teeny tiny. I'm like, if I try and wet that, it's going to just splodge everywhere and look messy, and I don't know if I can control it well enough with my rubbish techniques. So I don't know. I'm still thinking. We've got a tiny little key here. Can you see it? I'm sort of half tempted to do it in pen because it's so small, to make it shiny, but I don't know. I'm a bit weird with my thoughts about mixed media. I feel like doing a pen for a key isn't really very good, but doing it for stars is absolutely fine. What's that? What weird brain is that? Now, when I finish this one and this one, I'm going to just sharpen and go over the stems and leaves because they're a different colour. I think they look a little bit weird because they're not the same colour as this. But yeah, I like this warmth going on. So yeah, as I said, ow, sun in my eyes when I look up. Ooh, let's hope it doesn't come down onto the desk before I'm finished. So down the stem, onto the leaves. I want to put a little bit of darker colour in the bottom of those leaves. I use the colour that I use for the centre of those, and then it'll match. I can hear birds singing, sun shining. It's definitely getting spring-like. What colour? I'm thinking the chrome oxide green might work quite well. I've got a nice long new one. Now, can you see what I'm doing? I'm pulling out from the centre and trying to sort of do little lines that are fading out in the middle. Like that. And we'll do the same on this one, if I can. That's probably a little bit too dark, but it's supposed to be shadow rather than the colour of the plant. Hopefully it's sort of working a little bit in there and here. Yeah, it's funny how my husband said his bucket list including buying some art like that, but it was good. It's nice. It's really tricky because you know, to be able to do that, obviously he needs to be earning a fair amount of money, which he is, but he's finding his work so stressful. I really would like him to retire soon, but I know it's going to mean that he's limited in what he can do, you know. and also needs to keep paying into his pension, really. It's so difficult, but I'm hoping that he'll begin to like his job more again soon. He's actually had I'm trying to decide what to do with these lines. I'm going to go over them with this screen. He's had some of his workload taken off him because he's told his boss how stressed he was, which was really good. And now he's only got one project to work on, which she keeps saying, oh, you're not going to have much to do. But she is nice, a good boss, but she's not technical. So she's got no understanding of how programming works and the fact that it doesn't just work. You know, she's like, oh, you'll be done soon. It's like, well, actually, no, because it takes quite a long time, and then you've got to test it, and it's got bugs, and you know, etc. So I think he'll have, but there's other jobs that have been given away to other people which he might be able to help with. There. Now I'm just going to grab my dark sepia again and do a little bit of shadowing where the leaves overlap. So here, for example, we've got a bit of overlapping. I'm just going to put a bit of shadow in here and around here. I'm also going to do that key very soon, or else I'm going to forget to do it entirely, because I know what I'm like. Get carried away with the rest and forget all about it. I wonder how long I've been filming for. I keep starting and stopping. I've got no idea what time I started. Or I did get distracted and go off and get a geranium, as you do. See, I'm just doing a little bit on the stems as well. I don't know if it's really necessary. I'm just fiddle-faddling and having fun, sorry. I'm just going to have a check and see if that's... Now, when I do go around the edge, I'm gone to the edge with that. Just going to... I often just do the same width of line. I'm thinking, you need to have a little think about the angle. Like, the plant might be closer here than here. It's quite hard to see in this particular picture. Sometimes you might find your shadow will be a bit wider in some bits than others. I don't think it necessarily will in this one, really. So maybe not. Okay, I'm going to do the key, as I keep saying, before I finish. Now, the string on the key is just one pen line, so I'm not going to worry about that. What I'm going to do, because it is so small, I'm just going to colour it in green gold. And I might decide to go over it with a metallic pen, you know, a gold pen or a glitter pen or something like that at the end, but I probably won't, but I'm just going to leave it. If this was bigger, I would do several colours, but I'm actually just going to block it in, which is unusual for me, I know, but I want it to be seen. Because remember, in this book, we have a key and a lock on every page. So it's quite important part of the picture. So there we go. Oh, let's do these. Let's do these while we've got the right colours out. Because they're, look, they're geranium flowers that have fallen off. So, leaves. We need the leaf green first. This is how we did them. Then the permanent green olive. Just in the bottom. Then the May green, whoops, to warm them up a also helps to blend it together and to cover up all the white gaps that I've inevitably left. Right, our geranium, we started with the light cadmium red. Did we just go all over with that? No, we didn't do it that way at all. Let's get it right. We didn't do it that way. Hang on. I'm just sharpening up. We started with the deep red, didn't we? So block in the centre and then fade out. That was it, wasn't it? That's what we did. How long ago? Oh, I've already forgotten. Dearie me. Well, I've already decided what to do with the pot, and it's probably going to be identical to the one I did in my original page. But I don't know if that matters. So here's the light cadmium red. Oops. Basically went harder over there and a bit lighter towards the edge to try and make it, you see the difference in colour. Oh, I'm going to get a coffee in a minute before I do the next bit. If you're a member of my channel, you'll have the next bit right away. If you're not, you'll have to wait until tomorrow, unless you're watching this later, not on the day of release. But my channel members basically get series compilation videos. Get them a bit early if I remember. Usually my friend Mary reminds me, this is dark sepia. Is there any chance you can release the planner page a bit early? Okay. So yeah, and yeah, it just gives you the opportunity to get a little bit extra. There we go. Right, I think I am done now for today. So as I say, members will be able to have, if they find their compilation video, they can watch the next part right away, whereas non-members will have to wait. But non-members never miss out. There's never a video for members that non-members don't get eventually. The members just get them a bit early as a thank you for their payment for their membership. Right, there we go. Geranium done, pot to do. It's the tiny details left, which some people like, some people don't, but the pot as well, I know what I'm doing with it, so be interesting. But thank you for watching today. I hope that you have a really super day. Have some fun, and yeah, happy colouring.